So I'll start off with the only good thing of my whole rant here. Congrats to Edwin Diaz winning reliever of the month for the month of July. Here's a lollipop. Congrats. Here's a Pepperidge Farm cookie. That's about it. So I'm gonna read game by game. I'm not gonna go and because I got other things to detail. I got please. I got a Harry Potter novel series written on my script here. Mets go 1-5 on the week, swept by the Padres, lose 2 of 3 from the Giants. Last Monday, Emil Jimenez, take a bow. Probably the worst umpiring performance I'd seen, maybe all season, and that's saying a lot because it's been pretty bad. He was absolutely dreadful. He purposely struck out Juan Soto, and I mean purposely. Soto almost got ejected. Okay, he was fuming. Kudos to Carlos Mendoza and the management staff in the dugout to hold him back and not get him ejected. But Jimenez was as bad as you could be. According to Umpire Auditor on Twitter, umpires have missed 3,947 calls in just July. Just July. They missed 3,947 calls. So, just wanted to say that. Montas couldn't hold the 5-1 lead. Brosabon coughed it up in the fourth, but then he got sent down right after, so that's probably the only silver lining to that. Tuesday, Manaea pitched well. Jose Budo did not by giving up 5 runs that Tuesday. That was also his last outing as a Met. As I said, I expressed this past Friday at our, post-trade deadline episode, he got traded to San Francisco for Tyler Rogers. Wednesday, the Mets were lifeless against Yu Darvish. They lost 5-0. Dom, check this. Mets against Yu Darvish. Yu Darvish is now 6-1 with a 2.92 ERA, 72 strikeouts in 11 starts.
What a legend.
Safe to say they cannot beat this guy at all. Okay. Trade deadline during the Thursday off day. Thank God. Lord knows Mets fans need to see another loss. But it's okay. They showed you how to lose again on Friday. They lost in 10 innings at home against the Giants 4-3. Peterson went 6 innings once again, but it didn't matter. Ryan Stanek gave up another run. I'll be saying his name negatively again in a minute. I don't know how you lose extra inning games when you're the home team. You get the ghost runner. How in the world are you losing extra inning games when you're the home team? If the away team scores 1 or 2 runs, I'm sorry, in my eyes, you should still be winning the game or at least tying the game to push it to another extra inning. Saturday, the Mets looked like the offensive juggernaut that we expected, winning 12-6, but Kodai Senga does not look like an ace with his inconsistency. I don't think I'll be honest, Tom, I don't know if he's ever going to be an ace. So I can't really depend on him.
I gave up on him with that.
I think it's out of the question.
He'll be out.
Yeah. Sunday they scored 12, but then they said, "Hey, listen, we'll let you have it tomorrow." They then gave up 12 and they lost 12-4. Frankie Montas, I mean, this man's cooked. He's showing his true colors and showing true concern to the Mets, as well as Ryan Stanek. Here's the other negative part about him. He gave up 5 runs in the 9th inning. So if the guy can't pitch in low leverage situations on Sunday, then he can't pitch. He can't pitch. Period. That's it. Bottom line. Okay? Here are some stats for the viewers and listeners. Since June 11th, starters have only gone 9.2 in the 6th inning. They've only gone 9.2 innings in the 6th inning as a starter, while the bullpen has gone 34.1 in the 6th inning. What does that mean? That means there's not enough length with the starters, so the bullpen has to then get worn down. I mean, it's unbelievable. I just don't understand it. Like, these guys, like, okay, Manaea, he starts topping out at 70 pitches. I understand he just came back the day before the All-Star break, And, it was obviously Clay Holmes, and then he piggybacked off Clay Holmes and he pitched against the Royals in Kansas City. I know it hasn't been many outings, but we're seeing that once Manaea gets to 70 pitches, he starts getting worn down, right? Peterson's the only guy you can depend on going 6 innings at this point. But right now, there's only 2 starters that I can depend on. I know Manaea is going to figure it out. I know now his ERA got blown up to a 3.52 after giving up 5 runs last night. But it's only Peterson and Manaea. Senga, Holmes, and Montas, loss, loss, and loss. That's how I see it. So not getting a starter at the trade deadline, it's obviously, apparent right now that it's really doing a lot of harm, to the Mets' overall record and their rotation. Excluding last night's game, the Mets over their last 43 games are 18-25. That's 5th worst record in the MLB. 4 runs per game, that's also 5th worst in the MLB. A 5.43 ERA from starters, that's 4th worst in the MLB. And a 5.15 ERA from relievers, that's 5th worst in the MLB.
Hmm.
Including last night's game, the Mets, 1 through 4 in the lineup, are 75 for 355. 75 for 355. That's a 211 batting average over the last 23 games. Dom, what the hell?
It's not even my team, and I have Ajita now. Wow.
The Mets Fab Four of Nimmo, which let's cut the name out because it ain't fabulous. Nimmo, Lindor, Soto, and Alonso over the last 23 games. Nimmo, not bad. 23 for 89, 258 batting average. Okay? Of course, this is including last night's game. Don't worry, I did the math for you folks. Lindor, 22 for 99, a 222 batting average. Soto, I mean, my lord, 16 for 84, a 190 batting average. And Alonso, 14 for 83, a 169 batting average. I do not care that he went 4 for 5 last night. They still lost the game. Thanks, Brett Beatty, for the error that you made last night. Tremendous work, pal. Frankie Montas has given up 4 earned runs or more in 4 of his last 7 starts this season. Or it's 4 of his 7 starts, however you want to put it. His ERA is now a 6.68. Additionally, Frankie Montas showed up to spring training out of shape, got injured less than a week into spring training, has looked like batting practice to opposing teams, is getting paid $17 million this year, and has a player option, not a team option, Dom, a player option, which means I'm sure he can already agree to that today, for next season for, again, $17 million. Folks, I'm going to make this as clear as it can be, okay? I put out a post on Twitter on Sunday. It's up to about 37,000 views, okay? 300 likes. Some people disagree with it. Some agree with it. That's the nature of sports. That's the nature of life. I'm going to make this very clear as to what the step-by-step procedure needs to be, and this is how I wrote it on Twitter. You have to call up Sprode and McLean. You might as well promote Jonah Tonk to AAA while you're at it. Move Clay Holmes to the bullpen. He pitches tonight. I can tell you right now it's not going to go well. DFA Frankie Montas. Okay. He's supposed to pitch this Saturday. Do I think it's going to go well? God, no. I do not. Against Milwaukee. Okay. And when that happens, David Stearns, be a man, get in front of the camera, and express that move to the fans yourself, that it was a failed contract, okay? That, and I said it back in December to my brother, to other Met fans, it was going to be a failed contract. The man didn't even show up in shape. I was always told when I was a kid at soccer tryouts in high school, you come to tryouts in shape, not to get in shape. Frankie Montas came to spring training to get in shape. So when he falters again on Saturday, which, mind you, Dom, they're looking to put an opener in front of him, which in translation means get ready to be in the bullpen.
Yeah.
When he doesn't do well, I want David Stearns to get his butt in front of the camera, be a man, not a child, and tell the Mets fans, I messed up with this contract. Because I'll give Billy Epler credit. When they traded for Darren Ruff in 2022 at the trade deadline, and he didn't do well, Billy Epler got in front of the camera and he told the Met fans, this was a trade that I messed up on and it didn't work out. So kudos to him. I actually gained a lot of respect for Billy Epler that day when he did that. David Stearns needs to do the same. And lastly, do me a favor, DFA Ryan Stanek. Get rid of him.
Clearly.
He is dreadful. Couldn't even pitch in a low leverage situation this past Sunday. He now has a 5.03 ERA. It's time to shake it up. Okay, we're going to have, when we end this episode in a bit, we're going to do, our last segment is, will either team make the playoffs? And me and Dom will give our respective answers. With all this being said, David Stearns' grade for the trade deadline is getting lower and lower by the day. Not by the week, by the day. You needed a starting pitcher at the deadline, and you didn't do it. Me and Dom, for both of our teams, wanted Joe Ryan. I put out a nice package out there, set it on the episode, put it on as a reel on Instagram. I wanted a starting pitcher. Joe Ryan would have been great. Okay. You know, it's interesting, right? With the call up of these kids, I forget which account it was on Twitter, but somebody told me that they may not call up Sproat and McLean until August 15th or 16th. So it doesn't affect their service date and they get an extra year of team control. You know what? You want to do that? Go ahead. But I can tell you right now, you're just going to keep on slipping out of the division and, frankly, out of the wild card race. So you just won't make the playoffs. And guess what? If you lose the year of team control and they perform well, you could just, I don't know. I mean, crazy, right? Crazy thought. You just extend them early and you pay them and you give them a contract. I don't know. I'm not, a rocket scientist. I'm not brilliant. Okay. I'm not a perfectionist. I'm not, one of these billionaires in America, but you could extend him early if he performs well, if you lose a year of team control. The clock is ticking and you're running out of time. I'm here to say we do not have time, okay, to wait for August 15th or 16th. Okay, you can extend them if they do well. But Dom, instead of calling these kids up, you know what they did the other day?
What they do?
They called up Dom Hamill. Dom, do you know what Dom Hamill's ERA is in AAA this year?
I've been good.
You want to guess?
I've been good at these guesses. 7.
No, still not good. It's a 4.73 ERA.
I was way off.
A 4.73. I mean, who cares? It's still not good.
Yeah, still not good.
Okay, still not good. 22 games in AAA, a 4.73 ERA. He was a third-round pick in the 2021 draft. So they called him up, okay? They're trying to stall and not tell people we're not calling him up until August 15th, 16th. They're trying to not just tell the people blatantly, this is what we're doing. They're trying to make up any other reason to not call up these young kids to save the extra year of team control. Do I get it? Yes and no. But you're running out of time. Okay? Montas will pitch Saturday. I already said that. Okay? They'll have an opener. Translation, get ready to be in the bullpen, Frank. That's probably going to be happening soon. I know other fans want Carson Bench called up. He's raking in Double-A right now, a 323 batting average, 968 OPS, 12 homers, 57 RBIs. Has 5 homers in his last 6 games. But I don't see this front office fast-tracking players. Now, they did it for Michael Conforto 10 years ago. But the thing is, somebody did say to me recently that playing in college should honestly fast-track you a bit in the minors, which I agree. Michael Conforto, I believe he played his baseball in Oregon, at the University of Oregon. And I forget where Carson Bench came from. But regardless, okay, he's not going to get fast-tracked in the minor leagues. I just don't see this front office doing that. I just don't see it. So that's essentially where that's at. Okay, that was a bit of a rant. The Mets look like hot garbage. I've said that word before, and I'll say it again. And frankly, both New York teams look like hot garbage. But if you're really going to be a president of baseball ops or even a GM, whichever title you want to take, if you're David Stearns, you cannot sit here and tell me, oh, we're just going to try to really, prove out the contract. He was injured. He hasn't pitched that much. We're already giving him 17 million. You made the choice. This was your choice. We knew it was going to blow up in your face. I would have rather had Jack Flaherty. Is he having an amazing season? No, but he's better than Frankie Montas. If you're going to give him 17 million per year and even make the second year a player option, you might as well have just signed Jack Flaherty. Okay? It's unbelievable to me what this guy is doing. And you didn't get a starting pitcher. Now you're seeing what the problem is. So you want a prospect hug, and you want to hug all this gluttony of young infield talent. But at some point, you got to give up to get something. We said it on Friday. That's it. I'm done. Last segment before we close. Yeah, I mean, dude, I'm just sick and tired of this crap. It's unbelievable. Figure it out. Do something. I know you do have to depend on your big names to hit. I get it. As David Stearns, you can't control that, but you can control the deadline. And your grade is getting lower by every game the Mets play. Now I'm done.